Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of TCare's podcast. My name is Polly.
My name is Alex.
Really excited to be co-hosting this week's podcast. We're talking all about work experience this week, and we're joined by some amazing students from Trinity High School in Manchester. They'll be talking a little bit about their experience when they did work experience with myself at Softcat, and I'll be touching on the business benefits and why, as a business, you really should be considering getting a formal work experience program in place.
Yeah, really great episode, and super excited to share it with you guys. If you're someone who's been looking to set up work experience or struggle with trying to get, for example, your child's son or daughter to really take some time to focus on work experience, this is definitely the episode for them. So I'm going to say what I always say, which is grab a pen and a notepad and enjoy the TCare podcast. So today we've got quite a lot of people who are joining us, and a lot of young people, to be exact, because we wanted to focus on work experience. We understand that it's something that's gone on for ages now. I'm sure, Polly, when you was in school, you done work experience and production in the background, done the same as well. And there's always a bit of a weird feeling from the student standpoint versus the business standpoint, whether it's going to benefit the student to do that work experience or whether it's just going to be like a waste of time, and you go in there and you feel like you're not doing anything. And from a business standpoint, there's always a conversation about how can we potentially retain these people if they're really good people, and what can we do in terms of putting a work experience scheme together and making sure that that scheme is actually going to be successful. So today we're going to be focusing mainly on both sides, which is why we've got Polly. So Polly has driven the work experience within Softcat and has had great success to the point that she's somehow got all of these amazing people to join the podcast. I mean, that's a tough thing to get done anyway. And then we've got all of these amazing individuals that I'm actually going to let them introduce themselves, actually. So let's start with you, Demi, and then we can go through one by one. Just give a short introduction about yourself. If you want to give a funny fact or a fun fact or something Arsenal related, yeah, sure, then go ahead, you can do that. But yeah, whatever you like. So yeah, introduce yourself.
My name's Demi. I've been doing computer science, maths, and physics, and I am one of the very rare Arsenal fans that has been an Arsenal fan for very long.
Love it. See, there we go. There's a reason I started with Demi. Mohammed, do you want to give an introduction to yourself?
Hi, my name is Mohammed, and a fun fact about me is I built my own PC around 2 years ago.
Amazing. Do you think you could build me a PC? I mean, I'm looking to move from Xbox to actual real gaming console. So if you've got the skills, I'd definitely want to invest in that.
Yeah, sure, why not? I've only done it once though. So
yeah, no, I appreciate that. Pearl, next.
Hi, my name's Pearl. Unfortunately, I don't support any football teams, so that's not very interesting. But yeah.
No, that's cool. That's fine. I will just presume that the team that you want to support will be Arsenal, so it's all right. It's not. You still get points for that one, don't worry. Roya, do you want to go next?
Yeah. Hi, my name is Raya. I do economic, sociology, and business. A fun fact about me is that I speak two languages, which is English and Persian.
Wow, amazing. I always wanted to speak two languages, but I was never good at them. I'm just gonna be honest, I just wasn't good at languages. I was terrible at school and terrible as an adult.
No, you're not. Well, I did Latin at school, and that hasn't really helped me. Well, having said that, it's kind of, it feeds into the English language, doesn't it? But no, I never did modern foreign languages, and I wish I did. So I'm very jealous, Roya.
I mean, I only know I know some French, but
Bonjour.
I'm not gonna. But bonjour, ça va? Je m'appelle Alex. That's about it.
That's more than me.
Yeah, you have to know how to say your name, and that's how you can tell people you speak another language sometimes. And then we've got one more. So I'm really hoping I've remembered your name correctly. Is it utilise?
Close enough. It's Gilles.
Gilles, sorry, my apologies. So Gilles, introduce yourself to everyone.
Hello, my name is Gilles. I study the same as Demi, but swap physics with further maths. And a fun fact is that I support the better team, Manchester United.
Good lad.
Wow. Do you know what I respect is he said it with confidence, because yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like that. I like that. We're not here for that. We're not here for that. I like Demi. He's really, the energy, I can feel it, the vibes. I can really feel the vibes.
Oh, you Arsenal fans.
Right, so let's step away from football and introductions. I'm going to go to you first, Polly, just to give an explanation around how you value work experience at Softcat and how this has all been put together and how we've been able to have this day today.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Alex. So I guess just a bit of an intro from me. So I work at Softcat, as Alex has mentioned. My formal role title is Employee Engagement, Diversity and Inclusion Executive. So I work a lot with our head of diversity and inclusion, Anushka Davis, who has featured many a times on these podcasts. We work on all of our diversity and inclusion initiatives at Softcat and also look at our employee engagement. So looking at different ways as to how we can be an employer of choice, how we can ensure time at Softcat for our employees is as fun, as enjoyable as it possibly can be. I used to be a recruiter for our apprenticeship scheme, so I've always had a passion for giving young people the opportunities to step into their desired career choice. I used to do lots of talks at schools in my previous role, helping young people understand what those opportunities look like beyond school as well, and the benefits of moving into technology. So moving into this new role that I'm now doing in the D&I space. It kind of made sense internally at Softcat within our HR team that I would still have a connection to the grassroots work that we do. And of course, as part of our diversity and inclusion initiatives, we're looking to get more diverse talent into Softcat and into the tech industry as a whole. So I kept a little bit of that work, which I was really pleased about, because as I say, it's a big passion of mine. And we've wanted to do work experience for many years. Pre-COVID, it was something that we were looking to do formally. It's been something that we've done informally for quite a few years now. For example, someone will know of someone that needs a work experience placement within the organisation. They come to us and say, "Can you look after my cousin's friend's son for a week?" And we would have made it work, and it would have been ad hoc, as I say. And to be honest, the experience probably wasn't as good as it could be for that particular student, because we didn't have anything formal in place, and we would have scrambled something together to the best of our ability and with the best intentions. But because of that lack of structure and that lack of focus, it probably wasn't the best experience. But we did retain a few of those people that we did have for work experience pre-COVID. We've got some people that are doing amazingly well now in the business that did do work experience all those years ago. So it's lovely to kind of see that progression and see that they did come back. So at least they did enjoy their experience as much to apply for a role off the back of it. But as I say, being honest with ourselves, it could have been better for sure. So when COVID hit, obviously we had to put a bit of a pause on our work experience efforts, because we didn't want to do it virtually. We wanted to ensure that it was as engaging as it possibly could be. So as soon as we got back into the office, it was a project that I was set. It took a while to put together, if I'm honest. So, general advice for businesses out there listening to this podcast. It does take a lot of time to put a program together and for it to be as engaging as it possibly can be for the students. So give it the time that it deserves would be my one bit of advice. I think I started looking at this in September of 2021 to then roll it out in summer of 2022. So a good few months to get it sorted. But as I say, the intentions behind it was to kind of formalize that program. For us, we have quite a successful apprenticeship scheme, so it's a great way for us selfishly to pipeline for that apprenticeship talent. We do a lot of work within our community at Softcat. It's something that's very close to our heart, so it's also going to help us kind of contribute towards that aim of giving back to the community, supporting the local community, and doing more with those local schools. So that was another benefit for us to formalise this scheme and to get more students into the business as part of the work experience programme. So it felt good as a business to give back to the community. It's contributing towards that aim. We're strengthening relationships with schools, which again feeds into that apprenticeship pipelining piece. And it's also great for our employees to get involved in something outside of their day job. It boosts their engagement when they've got that kind of variation in their day to day, and of course boost engagement, better retention. And we had some amazing feedback internally from all the people that did get involved in the week, that they really enjoyed it. They love working with the students. That's a credit to all of you on the podcast today. So yeah, many benefits. I could talk about it all day really, but I guess a bit of advice amongst that spiel was give it the time that it deserves, but I'm sure we'll talk about a few more nuggets of advice further on in the conversation.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And thank you for the detail there. I think a lot of our listeners will appreciate that. I'm just thinking from a senior leader standpoint or a D&I standpoint, if someone wants to embark on this journey, what would be the first things you say they need to go and do?
Good question. So from a D&I standpoint, I think it's important that you establish those aims from the offset. What students do we want to see on this program, or more generally speaking, why are we doing work experience? As I've mentioned, for us, it was about getting more diverse talent into the business, one of many of those kind of aims and objectives. So because of that, we wanted to work with the right schools, and I actually worked very closely with the teachers at the two schools that we worked with. So we had 1 week in a Manchester school, Trinity High, which is where our students today are from, and we had 1 week in our Marlow office in Buckinghamshire with a school called Misbourne. So I worked really closely with the careers leads in those particular schools to understand how we could get exposure to diverse talent, how we could pitch the work experience program to the students in a way that would attract diverse talent. And we went through a particular application process where the students just had to answer a couple of questions as to why they wanted to do work experience with Softcat, what were their long-term career aspirations, what were their short-term aspirations after school, just so we could gain a little bit more information about what they were looking at essentially post-school. And then I worked with the teachers from those schools to select the students that we enrolled onto the program, and they obviously know the students much better than I do, so it was great to have that insight. But I think that would be my advice really. Just be mindful of the schools that you are collaborating with. If diversity is an aim off the back of the work experience program, so choose schools with high representation of ethnic minorities or high representation of students from a lower socioeconomic background. All of that data is out there on the government website, which really helped us. But I guess we'd worked with Trinity High pre-COVID. The year group that we've got today actually came into our Manchester office, and we had a day talking about the benefits of working in technology and a bit about Softcat. So we had that close connection with the school, and we knew the students were fab. So it was a no-brainer for us really to work with Trinity High.
Yeah, that sounds amazing, and yeah, there's definitely a lot that I feel people will be jotting down and taking away so they can use it within their own business. I wanted to flip the question to some of the students now, because I remember work experience being very difficult to get a placement. There's always a lot of options that you can go down, or you can ask a family member to see if you can tag along with them. In fact, I remember in my school, there were some people that really tried to find work experience but ended up just working in PE in the school. I mean, some people chose PE because they loved it, right? But other people were sort of stuck in a position where it was like, well, I'll go and be a PE teacher for that week. So my question to you now, I'll point this towards Pearl and Roya, and Pearl, if you could go first. How was that process for you, and why did you decide to pursue work experience at Softcat? What enticed you?
Well, at the start, I was like phoning up places, bringing up like accounting firms, talking to my mom, my dad to see if they could get me into anywhere. And it's just really long and difficult, and you just had to keep up with it. But I saw that in school that we had the opportunity to work with Softcat, and I think it was just much simpler to like approach the like application process. So I thought, why not? So yeah.
Oh, And just to go back to that, when you say it was easier, was it because of the relationship that you felt that Trinity had with Softcat, or was it just the application process just seems like a breeze in comparison to doing it outside?
Well, I'd say both because obviously someone came into school and talked to us about it, so it obviously seemed more enticing and like you just have to ring up and speak to somebody that you don't know. Yeah.
Okay, and then same question for you, Ryan.
Yeah, it was just about work experience. I was trying to find a work experience about accounting everywhere, and
Okay.
I asked my parents to help me, and I went to a lot of people to help me with the work experience where I could find it, but I couldn't find any. Well, but my teacher, one of my teacher, he told us about the Softcat, so just simply selected this one, and I thought it would be good because they told us that we've got only 5 places, so I thought it's special to be. So I applied for it.
Absolutely. I mean, you all did well to get those 5 spots because all of the students at Trinity High are amazing. We had some brilliant applications, but it's tricky for businesses to have to bear that in mind in terms of the capacity that that they bring on. We had 5 students, but if we were to look to double that I think that would be a totally different kettle of fish in order for us to be able to facilitate and for it to be engaging for you all as students as well. So question let's go to Mohammed. How did you think a group of 5 worked for you? Do you think any more would have been less engaging, or would you have liked that variety of different people during the work experience placement?
So I think group of 5 is probably perfect in my eyes because we did a lot of activities together, and so the team can engage and focus on that one group. So if they had like more than 5 people, it would be harder for them to just engage with them.
Fab. Thanks, Mohammed. And if you could, it feels like ages ago that we did it now, but cast your minds back to July when we did do this. Demi, can you remember what your favourite session was? I know we had quite a varied week, and I'm happy to talk in a bit more detail about what that looked like high level. But just from your experience, Demi, what was the highlight throughout that whole week?
I'd probably say I think it was the first day, like the second to last day that we were in, where we spoke to HP and they were telling us about their like objectives and what they're hoping to do in like the coming years and how they're going to do it. And then we had that task to build like a project to try and make like the most money or like the most engagement of the world. And it was like a competition, and I came like first, and I won like a good jacket that Gilles was hoping that he got, but he never got it. So yeah, I think that was my highlight, and it was very exciting. It was very enjoyable. I enjoyed it
We
a
had
Good.
an unlimited budget for that.
lot.
I love the competition, and I think that's a really good piece of advice for businesses listening as well. Like as much as you can add some competition in there, or just some more engaging elements than just sitting there and shadowing or listening to talks. The more that you can give the students projects to work on and opportunities to win something or whatever it might be, it obviously goes down well. I'm pleased that you got your jacket as well, Demi, and I think you wore it quite proudly that afternoon or the next day. You
Yeah.
came in wearing it, so. I like that a lot. Fab. And yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, Demi, we got HP involved too. Interesting to know that your favourite session out of the whole week was something run by another employer, not Softcat. I won't take that too personally, but good. I'm glad that it went down well.
It was basically run by Software. You had HP on like the side. They came in just to, speak for Software. Let's see that.
I'm
They were
They
kidding.
were the front
HP are
runners.
brilliant.
Yeah.
They did do a fantastic session. They talked a lot about sustainability, which is close to our heart as an organisation as well. So it was nice to be able to talk about something other than technology and more so about the work that we're doing in the sustainability space, which is obviously a very hot topic at the moment. Gila, same question for you. What was your highlight other than losing to Demi in that particular task, or low light?
Honestly, that task was probably the highlight for me as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
good.
mean, shadowing was pretty interesting as well.
Good. Yeah. I mean, we try to give you quite a varied week. Again, I know it's hard to cast your mind back because you've had summer and exams and stuff since then. But our approach to designing that week was to ensure that it's as varied as possible. And that was a strategic decision from our side because we have many apprenticeship roles that we hire at Softcat in lots of different departments. So we wanted to give you exposure to as many of those departments as possible. But I guess from other businesses listening on this call, if, for example, you're only hiring in your sales team or your solutions design team, then I would recommend designing that week solely focused around that department. It just makes sense. It ensures that the potential candidates are getting exposure to the teams that you're hiring in. Question back to, I'm going to come back to Pearl now. Might be a bit of a difficult question, but I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. From your week at Softcat and your experience doing our work experience, did it impact your career aspirations in any way?
Well, before we did work experience, I wanted to be an accountant, and I was pretty open to doing an apprenticeship. And since I went to Softcat to do the work experience, it just made me want to do an apprenticeship more because I could speak to other apprentices, see what they were doing on like a day-to-day basis, and yeah, just solidified the fact that I would like to work, that I'd like to become an apprentice.
That's quite an interesting response. Just a show of hands, and I apologize to people who are listening to this. I will say how many hands go up, but how many of you are considering doing an apprenticeship off the back of this work experience that you've had, or was considering it anyway? So three. We've got about four. We've got 4 out of 5 hands here. Mohammed, you're doing like a half and half. So I'm keen to know what your reason is behind sort of considering it or not.
So I think the apprenticeship would be like my fallback plan. So if university doesn't cut it, I can go back to and apply there.
Okay, that's really interesting. I guess the reason I asked that, and this is going back to you, Polly, is I guess with the work experience, is Softcat trying to build a pathway where it's kind of like you come and do the work experience, you come back, you do an apprenticeship, and so on and so forth? Was that sort of what the end goal was to this work experience, or was there something different that you set as an end goal when the students complete the work experience?
In an ideal world, yeah, we'd love for every student to come and do work experience and think, wow, this is amazing. I want to work here. We don't just talk about technology and the departments within Softcat during that week as well. We also do touch on apprenticeships generally and what does that opportunity look like to ensure that they're getting that education piece as well. So absolutely, off the back of the week, we'd love every student to then come back and apply to our apprenticeship scheme and be successful and then be part of the Softcat family for sure. For us, that's important in strengthening the relationship with the school. I guess that's why we went back to Trinity High. We'd worked with you a few years ago, prior to lockdown, and we decided to work with them again to ensure that relationship is continuing to be nurtured and develop. So I would say that was one of the main aims for us off the back of work experience, in addition to the bits that I was mentioning earlier, such as just generally trying to impact or inspire the younger generation into appreciating the benefits of working in technology. Selfishly as well, customers love to hear about all the stuff that we're doing in this space, giving back to community. So it genuinely does allow us to win business. So that would be another piece of advice for other businesses if they're kind of on the fence. It will genuinely help with winning business, and we talk about it a lot when sales people come to us asking for insight into what we're doing in this space. And when we do mention we've got work experience program, it goes down really well for potential customers.
Yeah, no, that's good to know. And then I guess right now I'm trying to think of like the stages, right? So if I am in a different business, and I've now got to the point where we are doing work experience, we've kind of got a selection of candidates that we're looking at. Maybe we've picked 3 or 4, and we're now trying to think about what do we do in that week? What are the things that we put in place for them to go and succeed after they finish the work experience, or even retain them so that they join an apprenticeship scheme or go to uni and come back as a graduate? I know we've mentioned HP came in, one of your partners came in to do some work, which is brilliant. What other activities were set up during the week, and which ones do you think are sort of extremely important to have?
I think the obvious one is ensuring that they have a good understanding of the business that they're going to spend that week with. So Monday morning, we had quite a lengthy session just on Softcat, ensuring that they understood our values, what it's like to work here, just to make similar treatment to how a new start would be coming into the business. We really want them to feel embedded and bought into us as a business. So that seems like an obvious thing to focus on day one. Another thing I think's worth talking about is the project that I'm keen to get the opinions of the students on. I'm seeing some mixed faces there. So I do think it's an important aspect of the work experience program to actually give the students something to work on throughout the week. So we set a project on day one, and it was something that they had to be mindful of throughout the week, taking notes. It's going to increase their engagement throughout the sessions because they're actually going to have to present back on the Friday on what their observations were. So just high level overview of what that project was. We have 5 company values at Softcat. We had 5 students, so we thought it'd be nice to align each student a company value. And then throughout the week, they had to take notes on where they were identifying that value being portrayed or embodied by certain individuals, or just how they were feeling it in the environment, in our office environment. And then they presented that back on Friday, and however they wanted to, whether that was a PowerPoint presentation or we had an amazing video from Mohammed. I'm going to put you all on the spot now. I'm not going to give away what these company values were. Do you remember the company value that you all represented? Demi, what was yours?
Let me just jog my memory.
Should we go to Mohammed, and then maybe
Yeah.
by process of elimination, you might
Process of
remember?
elimination, I might remember, yeah.
Yeah, I think I had responsibility.
Yep.
It's been so long.
No, I definitely think you have responsibility, and I remember your video well. It was brilliant. Gilles, what did you have?
I'm like 99.9% sure that I had passion.
That is a company value, so I'm going to go with that. Let's say you had passion. Roya, what did you have?
Mine was easier. It was about fun.
Yeah, the fun
Wow.
one. Pearl, what was your company value?
Mine was community.
Love it.
And I kind of wanted to put the question back to the students as well, with regards to what activities they found to be valuable. I know they mentioned the HP one, but what was most valuable, and which ones? And I don't want you to feel sort of scared to share your opinion, but which ones did you least enjoy within the week? And I'll start with Val.
Well, for me, I think mine was the one where we did with IT, where they were like taking apart a computer or something, and then because all these the other 3 boys, they all do IT, so I was just sat there like, I don't know what's going on. Yeah.
That makes sense, but it was still interesting, right?
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah. And then Demi as well. What was yours?
I wouldn't say there's anything that I least enjoyed. I actually enjoyed the whole week. Like every day there was something new. I didn't really expect to see, like at the beginning I thought it'd be, since like Polly said it was like their first time doing work experience, I thought it was like, oh, it's not gonna be like a big one, it's not gonna be interesting, it's not gonna be like, oh, they've done this before, it's gonna be new, it's gonna be fresh. And then after going through the whole week, I was like, wow, it was very enjoyable. Like loads of different things that we did every day. And like throughout the day, there was different different parts of Softcat coming in to speak to us about what they do, why they do it, how it helps the company and all that, and how it's brought them to where they are today. And I found that very interesting and enjoyable to listen to and cooperate with. Yeah.
Wow. This sounds like a future Softcat out here.
I hope so.
Yeah, yeah. Holly, I'm wondering if there's anything that any student out there needs to know about work experience, not just at Softcat, but in general, what message could you give to that student?
Generally speaking, I mean, it's hard to ask yourself as a student, what do I want to do in the future? I totally appreciate that, and I certainly didn't know what I wanted to do in year 10, year 11, year 12, however old you are, when your school's asking you to do work experience. But I would just kind of, the advice that I would give is choose something that is as in line with what you think you're going to want to do as possible. I think my work at the time when I was at school, I wanted to be in the performing industry, and the work experience that I chose was I went to visual effects company and sort of had that exposure to what it was like behind the scenes. And that gave me really good insight into a whole other world of careers that I hadn't considered, still in that kind of performance and creative arts space. So that that would be my advice. Think specifically in terms of what you might want to do, but I know this sounds quite contradictory, but then think quite broad within that industry or within that particular job role. What other job opportunities could there be in that space? And that might broaden your options as well. Which brings me on to my second point. Don't place all your bets on one particular company. Apply to a good amount so you have different options to fall back on. Some companies are going to be or have quite competitive application process, so don't be disheartened. That process of applying and getting rejected, that's part of the working world, that's part of working life. It's a really good thing to get experience in. So use it to drive you and to learn from, and maybe look at the application process, and if you can get a copy of the application process, go through it with your careers advisor at school and see what you could have done better next time. And when you're there, give it your all, get as involved as you possibly can. Here I am speaking to the students that we were doing work experience with a few months ago, but I've still got the relationships with all of these students, and that's brilliant. And I've said to them, use me if you're going for a job, or you want to apply for an apprenticeship, or you want some advice about working in the tech industry, like, please come to me. So I think as a student, it's a great opportunity to build those relationships with real life working professionals that I'm sure would be happy to give some insight and kind of be that mentor figure moving forward. And just want to place the importance of work experience as well. It is a fantastic opportunity to not only get an insight into a potential career option, but also just to properly understand what it's like to work in a professional environment. The hours are different, the dress is different. The people that you're working with are, as I say, adults, real life working professionals, and they're not your teachers. They're people that you might report into, or their peers that you're working on projects with. And that exposure is going to be really useful when whatever that next step looks like. It might be going to university, or it might be getting a part-time job alongside university, but ultimately when you do move into your career, having that experience is going to come in really handy. So don't put it down to something that school's asking me to do it. I'll do it just because I have to. I promise you it will be a really insightful and hopefully enjoyable experience. So give it your all.
Wow, that was nicely put. That was nicely put. Has anyone got any feedback from the students just off the back of that? Just any initial responses? I'm not going to pick anyone out.
I'd say it was after what Polly said, I think now, because we're in the year where we have to start applying for universities and like start finding places we want to go after college. I think after hearing that is like giving my mind like a bit of ease, knowing that there's still like loads of career paths, and loads of different choices other than universities and all that can take you to places that you want to be. So yeah, I think after hearing that, it's really like put me at ease, like really kept me like confident for the future to come, like confident that there won't be like a big mistake going to happen. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, don't. I always say don't be afraid to fail, right? Everyone starts at level 0 at some point. Like for example, I got FIFA when it came out, right? But FIFA last year, my player was about like 85, 90, but now I have to start again. It's just basically at 0. Yes, I may have some skills prior to that, but really and truly, I have to start from scratch. And it's the same in the working world. Like you can try as many times as you like, as many different things as you want. I guess my message is that pick something that you're passionate about and something that's going to make you happy. Especially in this day and age, we're in a position where even I'd say before creators were not getting paid as much as what they do now. That's now a stream for you to go down. And if you've got a niche that you really do enjoy, love doing, then go and chase that. Or if you want to do something completely different, go and chase that. It's just the amount of opportunities out there is just grown exponentially. See, Master J, exponentially. But yeah, you just really put yourself out there and don't be afraid. Don't have any fear. Come and join the communities that are out there that are giving you support as young people, and use that, harness it, because it really is something that's really powerful. It's really, really powerful.
So I jump in with a question. Sorry, Alex.
Do you want to read that question off? We can always just cut it out.
What were you going to ask?
What type of exposure have you had with regards to careers that are similar to Softcat? I'll ask this out to the students clearly, because Polly is a Softcatter.
Gillis, you want to take that? Have you had any other like employers come into school, or have you had any careers talks that have helped you look at your future?
We definitely have career talks. The school makes an effort to put loads of career stuff for us to look at, give us resources. Sometimes people will come in as well. I don't tend to look at them a lot usually, but I probably should, but I don't usually look at them. But the school does definitely make an effort to give us some exposure to companies like Softcat and unlike Softcat at the same time.
Great. Yeah, that's really good to hear. And just from my experience of working with your school, yeah, I echo that. They are fantastic at ensuring that careers education is embedded into the curriculum. So yeah, that's great to hear. And I know that Softcat is a technology company, of course, and you've mentioned that you were looking at accountancy, work experience programs, but a question to all of you, who is actually looking to move into the world of tech? Mohammed, I'm looking at you because I'm sure that, yes, there's a hand. So what does the future look like for you? What's next?
So I'm thinking about going to software engineering. That's like my main choice. Or I could do. I'm looking to computer science in general, or just somewhere in tech. The field is so huge. You can go into many different aspects of tech. It's just crazy.
Fantastic. Thanks, Mohammed. Demi, I also saw a hand there. You looking to go into tech?
Yeah, so like my family, they're basically big on like IT, and for a while I've been like focusing on cybersecurity, because I think cybersecurity, like every day there's going to be something new. There's going to be like a new person trying to like do some sort of hack that will like damage someone's business or anything. And like being someone that does cybersecurity, there's always going to be something new to learn every day, which I find interesting because the world is changing every day, and like more things in IT, like IT is evolving every single day now because like it's just getting bigger and bigger thanks to the day and age that we're in. So I think being in a cybersecurity role is very demanding, but I think it's like high demand, high pay.
Great answer. Gilles, what about you?
I'm the same as Mohammed, to be honest. I'm looking to go into software engineering. Although I am kind of like thinking broader in terms of that, in terms of the future, I want to go to university. So yeah, I'm not really looking at apprenticeships, to be honest. Although I'm open to them. So if a really good opportunity appears, then I might go for it. But you know, I'd like to go to university.
Yeah, great. We'll keep in touch, Gilles. Apprenticeship opportunity at Softcat. You know, I can talk to you all day long about that. But glad to hear you're looking to stay in tech. Roya and Pearl, what are your career aspirations? Pearl, what do your next steps look like?
Well, I want to be an accountant, so I've been looking into apprenticeships and degree apprenticeships with like accounting firms, or with just any business that offers like a finance and accounting role or something like that. Yeah. Or to go to university, but that's not really my first option.
Oh, well, that's interesting, and we'll definitely try and keep in contact as best as possible to see how way all of your journeys go. I'm sure Polly will definitely be getting in contact when the time comes to see if you want to become a Softcat. But I think I can see production is doing the little typing to say we run out of time. So what I wanted to firstly say is thank you so much to all of you for joining this episode and giving your insight and giving your viewpoints, because it's going to be helpful not just to businesses, but it's going to be helpful to individuals and students who are similar to you and they're not really too sure about work experience or where to do it or what they can get out of it. So thank you so much for giving your time today, and please pass on our thanks to your teachers as well. We know this is during the school day, and we've taken quite a bit of time, but I'm sure you lot are liking having a little break away from actually being in a classroom. So yeah, I really appreciate that. Polly as well, thank you so much. Just the way
Pleasure.
You've articulated everything, all of the information that you've shared, and yeah, definitely I think there's an opportunity for us to maybe try and have a second call off the back of this, talk to some of the people that that the students shadowed and get their viewpoint on how that was beneficial for them. But I definitely think there is a good amount of information that you can take from this. So yeah, to our listeners, thank you for listening. Really do appreciate it. You can catch us on all the socials. So we're available on Spotify. You can listen to us on YouTube, all of the major platforms. And in terms of getting in contact with us, we're on Twitter. We're coming to Instagram, and our main source of content is through LinkedIn. So please, yes, engage with us, engage with the team. And also, if you've got any questions as well, just around this particular episode that you may want to ask, please get in contact with TK. Polly and I and others definitely have the knowledge to be able to help you take those steps if you do want to step up a work experience within your business. And it's something that we would really like to engage with our community on. But apart from that, that's all the time we've got for today. So thank you for listening, and until next time, take care.
Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode and we look forward to hearing your thoughts. So please continue the dialogue on socials. To stay updated on when we release the next episode, follow us on LinkedIn and on Twitter at TC4RE. And don't forget to check our website at www.tcare.org for more information and content on today's topics.